Okay guys, I don't know if I've ever actually shown you kind of how to chisel out this mortise. I guess I can't remember, but let me explain it to you a little bit. Always put the sheath on your chisel. If you've ever dropped your chisel on the rocks and spent 3 hours getting the rock ding out of it, you'll never forget to put the sheath on your chisel again. But anyway, so this is what it looks like after I get done drilling it with the boring machine. And I've already scored it. I've already scored it with my chisel. I don't do it with a knife. This is a rough sawn timber frame. The timbers are rough, so there's nothing, you know, real pretty about these timbers. You know, I mean, I think they're beautiful, but you get what I'm saying. Oh, here's my hand, by the way. It's a pretty good scar, but it healed up all right. I kind of put her together on my own. I should have got stitches maybe, but I didn't. So anyways, so I went ahead and scored the outside with my chisel already. And when you do that, remember when you're scoring the edges with your chisel, because there's so much material here, when you tap down on your chisel, it's going to want to push the chisel that way because of this angle. This might seem kind of like trivial information to some of you, but some of you might find it interesting. So once you have everything scored, well, then you can start removing some of this material. And if your chisel is sharp, you should be able to just push down with your hands and remove a lot of this and get rid of the bulk of that. See? And then once you got rid of most of that, then you can kind of come back in on your score line, and the material that's left over won't push your chisel, and then you can just set it right in your score line, kind of clean up the edge. And then we have to get the corners. I found an old corner chisel at an auction. I was all excited, but come to find out that the corner chisel is not square. So when I use that corner chisel, it's not quite, you know, the angle's too wide on it. So I just kind of use my 2-inch chisel to do the corners. And then you just clean up the edges. And we have to You know, we have to fine tune that a little bit, but so we've got a pretty square hole already. Okay, so now with the corner, I kind of start off the corner a little bit. Start working my way in there. Because again, if you try and bite off too much, you're going to struggle and it's going to push your chisel in. So you don't want to do that. So you start working your way in about 1/8 of an inch at a time, is what I do anyways. And moving your chisel in and out of that mortise like that actually kind of shaves off the edges. And your chisel is 2 inches, remember, so you'll have a 2-inch mortise. And this is where you kind of want to pay attention as you're going in. To make sure you're going down straight, because right now I'm on my shoulder line now from my brace, so and as long as I'm keeping the back of my chisel against the top of my mortise here, then I'll be going down relatively straight, and you'll be able to learn what your chisel sounds like when you're at the bottom of the hole. So when you got that corner square, you take your square and just rough check it off the face of the timber to see where you're at. And inevitably, you usually have to take a little more off the bottom. Because as you're hammering down through there, the chisel has a tendency to want to push out. That's pretty good. Rinse and repeat on the other side. Well, hey everybody, thanks for tuning in again. As you can see, we've got bent 3 just about complete. The 2 posts are done, and I'm working on the tie beam right now. I've got the holes drilled. Should be able to cut those tenons tomorrow and cut the braces, and we'll be ready to stand this thing up this week. That'll be the final bent for the timber frame, and you'll see that go up on the next video. And after that, it's just the top plates and the trusses. So we're getting there. Of course, we still have to side the whole thing and put a roof on it, but hey man, small victories. You know, that's what we got to go for. So all the timbers in this bent were straight. Can't believe it. So that's cool. Kind of went a little faster. I mean, you don't have to scribe everything in. It goes a little bit faster. So that was good, because we're definitely under a time crunch this time of year. That being said, it's a beautiful day today. Autumn is back, at least for a little while, and we'll take it, that's for sure. Gotta love these Black Hills falls, man. They are nice. Well, I always appreciate you guys tuning in. I always say that, and I really do mean it. The channel's growing pretty good, and I really appreciate you guys taking part in that. This journey has been a great journey so far. I've learned a lot, and I'm sure I still have a lot more to learn. Hopefully you guys have learned a little too. So stay tuned for the final raising of the final bent in the timber frame, and we'll see you guys next time.